Hello, and welcome to another episode of Project Bidoof. In this episode, we are going to breed a Battle Ready Blastoise. It's going to be a Shell Smash Blastoise, and just to quickly go over what Shell Smash does, it is a move which lowers your defense and special defense by 1 stage, and it raises your attack, special attack, and speed by 2 stages. What this means is our defense and special defense will be 67% as effective as they are now, and our attack, special attack, and speed will be twice as good as they are, and that's just from a singular Shell Smash use. Blastoise has quite good natural defenses. These 100 and 105 base stats are pretty decent. So what we do to mitigate the defense drop is use the White Herb item, which will restore the lowered stat changes back to their ordinary stats when that stat reduction happens. Of course, there are some weaknesses. Let's say there's a Gyarados that switches in the turn that you clicked Shell Smash. Intimidate will proc first, and it will reduce your attack stat, and then your White Herb will activate. So just keep that in mind. There are some things that can mess up your whole plan if you want to keep the White Herb intact. Going over the 3 moves that I've chosen, you want a water type move. Typically you either go Hydro Pump or Scold. For the core coverage move, I chose Ice Beam. It's just generally so strong. It hits most things for at least neutral damage, and it is a good fish for super effective moves against more popular types such as Dragon, Flying, and Ground. For the third move, you have a few more options. There is Flash Cannon, you could also take Aura Sphere, and you could also take Dark Pulse. So typically Dark Pulse is good for your ghosts and your psychic types. Aura Sphere is good for your normal types, you know, your rock types, steel types, and Flash Cannon is typically just good for fairy types. So it's more of a nuanced thing. I personally chose Flash Cannon because it's just simple to get. You get this just from evolving to a Blastoise, but I feel like there's good use cases and pros and cons for each of these moves. Just keep that in mind when you decide your third move for your Blastoise moveset. For EVs, we are going 252 special attack and speed, and we are going the modest nature. The reason we're not going timid is because we just want to do a little bit more damage. We are gaining our +2 boost in speed anyway, so we don't really need to inch out the extra speed, although you could go timid if you so choose. There's not really much to say about Blastoise's ability choices. Rain Dish is really not great, and when Torrent activates, you will get some extra damage for your water type attacks. Jumping over to Serebii, we can see that we can evolve our Squirtle at level 16, and then our Wartortle at level 36 to get our Blastoise. For Flash Cannon, we can learn it via the move reminder or when we evolve into a Blastoise, so that's always good to know. We also get Rapid Spin, Protect, Rain Dance, Shell Smash, and Hydro Pump all through level up, so these are all pretty good moves for Blastoises. Different movesets, of course. We are specifically looking more at the Shell Smash and Hydro Pump, and we can obtain Hydro Pump at level 49, so that's not even at level 50. We're going to be training up to level 50 anyway, so it's an easy way to obtain Hydro Pump compared to some of these water types that learn it even in the level 60s. So it's just a little bit less effort than some of those other water types, so keep that in mind as well. For the TMs, I'm mostly looking at Ice Beam. I saw Focus Blast, but this is just super unreliable, so I never trust it. I basically never ever trust it. We have Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse is a good alternative, like we discussed before. We also have Flash Cannon by a TM. I wish it got Stealth Rocks personally, but that's just me. Looking at the egg moves, notably, I guess Fake Out and Yawn can be useful. Haze could be useful. These are generally just very solid moves. Water Spout is just not good for Blastoise. It's not very fast. We want to click Shell Smash, so we risk being hit in the first place, so we won't be full HP. For those of you who don't know what Water Spout does, it does more damage if you are at full HP, or rather higher HP. It has a very high starting base power, but as soon as you start to lose your HP, this move starts to do a lot less damage, and it only has a maximum PP of 8. So the water type moves of choice are Still, Scold, and Hydro Pump usually. For Aura Sphere, it just looks like we are going to have to catch Squirtles in the Grand Underground. There isn't a single other Pokemon in this bracket for leveling up or through breeding, so the way to obtain Aura Sphere, if you do want Aura Sphere, is to catch some Squirtles, pray to God that it has Aura Sphere, and when you do have it, you can simply just pass it down that way. The breeding process is very simple. Once again, we are learning everything through level up or TM, and in the case of Flash Cannon, we will learn that when we evolve into a Blastoise. All you have to do is get yourself a Squirtle from the Grand Underground, or of course you can trade for it, and you can breed up the IVs with your Bidoof. Eventually you will have your 5 IVs without attack Blastoise. In particular, this one is no good, which is the absolute worst. So that's a value of 0 for attack, which in previous generations was a lot more sought after due to the prevalence of the move Foul Play. For those of you who don't know, Foul Play targets the opponent's attack stat, so even for Pokemon that are special attackers. In the past, you would train and you would breed for a no good, the literal worst attack IV, so that foul play would do less damage. And that is the true meaning of min-maxing and perfecting your breeding. However, with that said, once you've hatched your 5IV Squirtle, you can pass it Pokerus, EV train it. Mine has a modest nature, maximum special attack and maximum speed EVs, and then we have our Ice Beam, Scald, Flash Cannon, and Shell Smash. This moveset could be very good if you can find the right time to click Shell Smash, get those speed boosts, and get those special attack boosts, and just go to town with some very good, strong coverage from a very cool Pokemon. I think Blastoise is pretty cool. With that said, that is going to be it for this video. So that's another water-type Pokemon for the Project Bidoof series. Make sure that you're checking out every single video in this series. You know the deal by now. Check us out on Discord. Leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. If you really like my content, consider subscribing to my Patreon. Check out the Twitter giveaways because I give each Pokemon that I breed for this series away on the 24th of July. All you have to do is follow me on Twitter. Check out the pinned tweet. There will be a thread where each Pokemon has its own tweet. All you have to do is retweet the ones where you want to win that Pokemon. Makes sense. It's very easy. Doesn't take much of your time and it helps me out a bunch. I shall see you tomorrow with even more Project Bidoof. That's at 6 PM BST every single day of July.